Hi students, your next topic in the cell biology, genetics and plant breeding paper from the first unit is cell wall. The cell wall is very important topic for your exams, and it's a compulsory essay question which is going to become in your exams. And let us just learn about the cell wall. What is the composition of the cell wall, what is the cell wall actually, what are the functions of the cell wall, and how it actually plays a major role in all the activities of a cell. Okay, so let us learn about the cell wall, which is a very important topic from the first unit. So while we discuss about the cell wall, you already know about the cell. Cell is discovered by a scientist by name Robert Hooke in the year 1665, which we already know, right? So at the same time, along with the cell, the same scientist Robert Hooke, he discovered the cell wall in the same year 1665, and he named that structure as wall initially. So how a compound wall surrounds our house to protect the house actually. So like that, in the same manner, the cell wall, it's a compound to the cell. So it actually protects the cell. And later, in the year 1804, the scientists by name Carl Rudolph and J.H.F. Link, they actually discovered that each cell have separate cell wall. Cells have independent cell walls. So each cell has separate and independent cell walls. That was discovered by these two scientists. Next, the cell wall actually, it's a structure. It's a layer-like structure which is surrounding the plant cells. It is actually the outermost layer or outermost structural layer of the cell. So it is present external to the cell membrane, and the cell wall is very tough to feel, and it is flexible also, and it is very rigid. It actually gives, the cell wall actually provides the cell support and the structural support, and it gives rigidity to the, it provides rigidity to the cell, and it actually, the main function of the cell wall is it protects the cell from the external surroundings, external pressures, external desiccations. Okay, and sometimes cell wall also acts as a filtering mechanism. Just like how the filter works, in the same way cell wall it acts like a filter. It allows the movement of ions or molecules through it, and the functions of the cell walls are providing the rigidity to the cell, providing the mechanical strength to the cell, providing the much more required protection to the cell, and it also protects the cell from the external pressures and external desiccations. And the cell wall also acts as a permeability layer. It's permeable to some molecules or ions to flow through in and out. And coming into the details of the cell wall more, coming into the bacterial cell wall. So how actually the cell wall and the bacteria looks alike. Okay, so the bacteria, which we already know, they are the prokaryotes. Means in the previous video lesson we have learnt about what are prokaryotes and what are eukaryotes, right? So here the example of prokaryotes, we learned that is a bacteria. So here the prokaryotic cell in bacterial cell wall, it's made up of mucopeptides and muramic acids. Means the cell wall in bacteria are made up of mucopeptides and muramic acids. So based on the structure and composition of the cell wall, the bacteria are divided into two types, which we already know: the gram-positive bacteria and the gram-negative bacteria. You might have learnt about all these in the intermediate itself, right? So let us see how the cell wall of bacteria, how the cell wall of gram-positive bacteria and gram-negative bacteria look like. Okay, so in the gram-positive bacteria, the cell wall is very thick, and it is homogeneous. Homogeneous means uniform. The thickness is very uniform, and the cell wall in gram-positive bacteria are mainly made up of the peptidoglycans, and those peptidoglycans actually accounts for 50 to 90% of the cell wall weight. Suppose if we assume that the bacterial cell wall is 100 grams, in those 100 grams, 50 grams to 90 grams are composed of the peptidoglycans. Okay, And in the gram-positive bacteria, there is special acid is present which is known as the teichoic acid. So that is the distinct feature of the gram-positive bacterial cell wall. And coming to the gram-negative cell wall, here the cell wall is very thin and it is multi-layered and it's more complex when compared with the gram-positive cell wall. Here also the gram-negative bacterial cell wall is also made up of the same peptidoglycans, but the percentage differs from the gram-positive cell wall. In gram-positive cell wall, the peptidoglycans are 50 to 90%, whereas in gram-negative cell wall, the percentage of peptidoglycans is about only 10%. So that is why the gram-negative cell wall is very thin when compared with the gram-positive cell wall. And here one more special protein is present in the gram-negative bacteria. That protein is known as the Brown's lipoprotein. So that is the distinctive feature of the gram-negative bacterial cell wall. And coming into the functions of the bacterial cell wall, so what are the functions of the bacterial cell wall means? First function is it protects the bacterial cell against the external shocks and damages. And the second one is the bacterial cell wall actually helps in the regulates the transport of the substances and minerals into and out of the cells. Just like I told you that the bacterial cell wall actually acts as a filter sometimes. So just like how the filter acts, in the same manner, the bacterial cell wall helps in the movement of the ions and molecules through it. And the next another function of the bacterial cell wall is it consisting of the genetic information. The resistance, how the bacterial cell wall is going to resist to the antibiotics. So the cell wall is the genetic information regarding to the resistance of antibiotics. So that type of genetic information also it exists in the cell wall. Next one is about the cell wall actually produces toxins, some poisonous materials, and it helps the bacteria actually to protect itself from the external unpleasant environments. Like if bacterial cell is placed in some toxic environment, some poisonous chemicals, then from that poisonous chemicals actually the bacterial cell wall actually helps the cell from the external poisonous chemicals. So in that way cell wall offers protection to the bacterial cell. And then the bacterial cell wall also takes part in protein synthesis. So it helps in the synthesis of proteins. And also the bacterial cell wall helps in the movement of the bacteria. It also helps in the movement of the bacteria. And this bacterial cell wall also helps in the storage of some ions and molecules in the cells. So these are all the functions carried out by the bacterial cell wall. And coming into the prokaryotic cell wall, so the same, just like how we are discussing the bacterial cell wall, the diagram is this. This is the bacteria, and this one is the cell wall, which you are seeing. So here this one is the bacterial cell wall, and this thick red layer, it is known as the bacterial cell wall actually, which is external to the everything, external layer. This one is the external layer. So the next is this diagram is the bacterial cell wall diagram. Gram negative bacterial cell wall, the upper one, and the lower one is the gram positive bacterial cell wall. Just like we learned that gram negative bacterial cell wall is very thin, whereas the gram positive bacterial cell wall is very thick here. And we learnt that the bacterial cell wall is mainly made up of the peptidoglycans. And in the archaea is another group of prokaryotes. So the archaea, the microorganisms belonging to the archaea subgroup, they actually they not consisting of the peptidoglycans. So peptidoglycans are absent in archaea microorganisms, and pseudopeptidoglycans and polysaccharides, glycoproteins are present in the organisms belonging to the archaea subgroup. So that is the basic difference between the bacterial cell wall and the archaeal organism cell. In bacterial cell wall, in both positive and negative bacteria, peptidoglycans are present, whereas peptidoglycans are absent in archaeal subgroup. Instead of peptidoglycans, pseudopeptidoglycans and sulfated polysaccharides and glycoproteins are present. And now come to the eukaryotic cell walls. So how the eukaryotic cell walls are present. So here the eukaryotic cell walls, eukaryotes example, all the plants, all the animals including the human beings, and the fungi except the prokaryotes, remaining all the eukaryotes. So here the eukaryotic cell walls are made up of the polysaccharides like chitin and also the polymer like cellulose. And also these, whenever the chitin and cellulose are present in the cell wall, they are joined by linkages in first and fourth carbon at first and fourth carbon places by beta bonds. So chitin and cellulose are joined by beta 1,4 linkages. So examples for this type of eukaryotic cell walls are fungal cell walls like your rhizopus, and some algae cell walls are also composed of the chitin and the cellulose, and some water molds and slime molds, etc. So fungal cell wall also consisting of sometimes chitin along with the polysaccharides, and also glucans and proteins are also the major constituents of the eukaryotic cell walls. And going into detail of how many types of cell walls are present in the various types of eukaryotes. Sometimes some algal cell wall consisting of the cellulose, it's made up of cellulose and glycoproteins, and along with the cellulose and glycoproteins there were like mannans, xylons, alginic acid, sulfonated polysaccharides. So all these are present in the algal cell wall. And in water molds, cell wall is mainly made up of the cellulose. 4 to 20% cellulose is present in the water molds cell wall, and also glucans are present. And in slime molds, the cell wall is mainly composed of the cellulose. So in various types of organisms, the cell wall composition differs. That's the point here. So coming to the plant cell wall, so how it is made up of, and what is the structure of the plant cell wall. So this is the plant cell wall diagram. This is the plant cell wall section of the plant cell wall, and this is the another section of the plant cell wall. This is one type of view and this is another type of view. Okay, and let us learn about how the plant cell wall actually is. The cell walls are actually, they are joined by the middle lamella, means the cell outer layer is middle lamella, and if two cells are present, in the two cells the outer layer, the very outer layer is middle lamella, means the two plant cells are separated by the middle lamella. Inner to the middle lamella there is primary wall, and inner to the primary wall there is secondary wall. So we will see that. And here the middle lamella and the cell wall, they are made up of the substances like cellulose, xyloglucan, pectin, proteins, calcium ions, lignin and other ions, and some water. So these are all the substances which are present in the plant cell wall. And what is the cell wall composition actually in the plants? So here the primary cell wall in the plants, it is made up of cellulose, hemicellulose and cutin and wax, and sometimes cutin and wax in the case of the plant epidermis, along with the pectin also sometimes. So the primary cell wall in plants is made up of cellulose, hemicellulose and cutin and wax. The point here learned to is the plant cell wall is mainly divided into 3 layers. Remember that it's mainly divided into 3 layers. So what are the 3 layers mean? The outer layer is known as the middle lamella. See here, this is the plant cell wall diagram. So like this, as you are seeing in the figure, this is the plant cell wall structure, so which is made up of pectin, cellulose and all those substances. So the outer layer, it is known as the middle lamella. Okay, and this one is the primary cell wall. This is very lengthy primary cell wall, and inner layer it is known as, below the primary cell wall actually the secondary cell wall is present, and below the secondary cell wall plasma membrane is present. So in this way the plant cell wall layers are being arranged. So middle lamella, which is external to the outside, it is made up of the calcium and magnesium peptides. So the two cells are actually separated by the middle lamella. So that is made up of the calcium and magnesium peptides. The primary cell wall, it is made up of this one, the primary cell wall, from here to here, the whole portion, the blue color portion which you are seeing here, that's completely made up of the cellulose, hemicellulose, wax and cutin. The secondary cell wall actually it lies in, below the primary cell wall. So that secondary cell wall, it's made up of cellulose, 35 to 50% cellulose and 20 to 35% xylon and 10 to 25% lignin. So on the whole, the cell wall consisting of all these substances, cellulose, hemicellulose, cutin, wax, xylon, lignin, so all this. Cell wall of epidermis and endodermis consisting of a special substance known as suberin. So plant cell wall also contains, along with these substances, they also contain some enzymes like hydrolases, esterases, peroxidases, transglycolases and mineral substances. So the plant cell walls also contain the enzymes such as hydrolases, esterases, peroxidases, transglycolases and mineral substances. So this is the cell wall layers, which is the middle layer. The upper one is the middle layer, that one which is very light colored, and the blue colored, surf blue colored, which you are seeing here, that is completely from starting to here, that is the primary cell wall. And below the primary cell wall, actually the secondary cell wall is present, which is not shown here. And below the secondary cell wall is the thin walled plasma membrane. So here you can see the primary cell wall is made up of the cellulose microfibrils and are joined by some links. Okay, this is the pectin substance. And see here, this is very clear diagram which shows the plant cell wall. This diagram shows complete picture of the plant cell wall. See here, the outermost layer, which is known as the secondary cell wall. This one is the secondary cell wall. This one, the outermost layer, it is the secondary cell wall. It's very, very thick. After the secondary growth happens, secondary cell wall is present, and below the secondary cell wall, the second layer, this one is the primary cell wall. And the light yellow colored which you are seeing, this one is the actual outer layer is known as outer layer is the middle lamella, and then this is the primary cell wall, and the inner one is the secondary cell wall. So which is the outermost layer, which is the middle lamella. The middle one is the primary cell wall, and this is the inner secondary cell wall. Okay, so middle lamella, this is the outermost layer, guys. So this is the middle lamella which separates one cell from another cell, and below the middle lamella, primary cell wall. Below the primary cell wall, secondary cell wall, which is very, very thick. Okay, and total cell wall thickness, it consisting of 0.1 millimicrons to several millimicrons. So once again I am saying to you, the outermost layer is the middle lamella, which is made up of calcium and magnesium peptides, which actually separates one cell from another. Below the middle lamella is the primary cell wall, which is made up of cellulose and hemicellulose, and which is very thin. And below the primary cell wall, there is a secondary cell wall, which is made up of lignin, chitin and very thick substances. And so the repetition is here. Plant cell wall is composed of three layers, like the middle lamella, primary cell wall and the secondary cell wall. So the middle lamella, it is the first formed layer, and which is the outermost layer, and it is formed of calcium and magnesium peptides, and it actually joins the two cells together. So two cells are, if the two cells are joined, means they are joined by the middle lamella, because the middle lamella is the outermost layer of the two cells. And during the cell division, the first layer which is formed in the cell wall is the middle lamella, and below the middle lamella it is the primary cell wall. And the primary cell wall consisting of some enzymes like synthases, and it is very thin layer, and it is flexible layer. Primary cell wall is a flexible layer, and it's made up of cellulose, hemicellulose, glycoproteins and pectin. And this primary layer also consisting of cellulose microfibrils. So see here, this is the primary cell wall. Which is very thin and made up of cellulose and hemicellulose. So this primary cell wall is made up of cellulose microfibrils, and which is very, very thin, the middle layer. That is the primary cell wall. And it consisting of actually the framework of the cellulose microfibrils, and sometimes the primary cell wall in the epidermis, it is made up of the wax and cutin. And the secondary cell wall, which is below the primary cell wall. So let us see once again what is the secondary cell wall, the inner one. This is the secondary cell wall, which is very, very thick and which is present below the primary cell wall. So that secondary cell wall, it is actually situated between the innermost plasma membrane and the primary wall. Secondary cell wall is present between the primary wall and the plasma membrane. So secondary cell wall, it is made up of substances like cellulose, xylon, lignin and hemicellulose also. The secondary cell wall is very, very rigid when compared with the remaining cell walls, and it provides strength to the cells. So secondary cell wall is not found in all cell types. So if at all any secondary growth happens, then only the secondary cell wall we can see. So plasmodesmata are also the part of the cell wall. Plasmodesmata means the connections, the cytoplasmic connections present between the cell walls and actually pass through the cell walls. They are called as the plasmodesmata. So plasmodesmata are also part of the cell walls sometimes. So coming into the internal structure of the plant cell wall. So here the plant's cell walls are made up of mainly the primary cell wall. It is made up of cellulose and hemicellulose, right? So that in the cellulose actually 8,000 to 15,000 glucose molecules they combines into one cellulose molecule. In other words, we can say like this: one cellulose molecule is equal to 8,000 or 15,000 glucose molecules. 8,000 to 15,000 glucose molecules. So 8,000 to 15,000 glucose molecules, they fuses together, they combine together and form one cellulose molecule. And that cellulose molecule is nearly 0.25 to 0.5 millimicrons in length. And such type of cellulose molecules, they come together and they form into clusters, they aggregates and they form crystals. So such type of clustered cellulose molecule, group of cellulose molecules, they are known as the microfibrils. And each microfibril, it consisting of internally 40 to 70 chains of the cellulose molecules. Each chain is made up of so many cellulose molecules. So each microfibril consisting of 40 to 70 chains. And that all will be the structure, all will be seen in the electron micrograph if we can see. Let us go back to the plant cell wall internal structure diagram. See here, this is the plant cell wall, right? This is the primary cell wall, the blue colored one from here to here, which is made up of the cellulose and hemicellulose. And here actually, see here, the microfibrils are present, cellulose microfibrils. So these are the cellulose microfibrils which are in blue color. And these microfibrils like this, chains of cellulose fibrils are present here. Microfibers are present here, which is made up of cellulose. Okay. So each microfibril has chains of cellulose molecules. How the cellulose is formed? So from the glucose molecules. So how many glucose molecules? 8,000 to 15,000 glucose molecules come together, fuses and form one cellulose molecule. And that type of cellulose molecules, they form into chains like this, golusullaga. So chains like this and forms a microfibril. So such type of microfibrils actually builds up the primary cell wall. So that is the internal structure of the primary cell wall. And once again I am going to remind you that in the cell wall, the outermost layer is the middle lamella. Below the middle lamella is the primary cell wall, and below the primary cell wall is the secondary cell wall. And below the secondary cell wall, actually the plasma membrane is present. So that's the position of the layers of the cell wall. And each microfibril, as we see, it consisting of 40 to 70 chains, which we can see in electron micrograph, just like I shown you. So the space between the microfibrils are actually filled up with lignin molecules, cutin molecules, pectin molecules, hemicellulose, water, all etc. So these microfibrils are helpful in giving the required strength to the cell wall. So here the spaces between the microfibrils. Okay, let us move on to the structure here. So here these are all the microfibrils, right? These are all the microfibrils, the blue colored chains. So in between these blue colored chains, actually the pectin. See here the purple colored molecules. So the gaps between the microfibrils, the cellulose microfibrils are filled up with pectin molecules, lignin molecules, cutin molecules, and sometimes water. Okay, it's filled up with different types of molecules, which gives strength to the cellulose microfibrils. And going into much details of the strength, in primary cell wall, the microfibrils orientation is actually they are actually transversely arranged to the long axis, and they are longitudinally arranged. Sometimes the microfibrils are longitudinally arranged sometimes, and then sometimes the microfibrils are arranged in a transverse way. And in secondary cell wall, the microfibrils arrangement is somewhat different. and in cellulose fibers arrangement is somewhat different. In secondary cell wall, the secondary cell wall is divided into 3 distinguished layers once again, S1, S2 and S3. Out of these, S1 is the outer layer and S2 is the middle layer, S3 is the inner layer. And out of all these three, the central layer S2 is very thick. So S1 and S3 layer, they are connected to the primary cell wall, and here the orientation of the microfibrils is quite different when compared with the primary cell wall. In primary cell wall, the microfibrils are arranged. Microfibrils means, let us move back to the diagram again. So here the microfibrils, they are actually, this is the microfibril, these are the microfibrils. These microfibrils in the primary cell wall, they are arranged either longitudinally or transversely to the diagonal axis. Whereas in secondary cell wall, so in the microfibrils arrangement is somewhat different. Secondary cell wall is distinguished into 3 layers like S1, S2 and S3. Whereas in all these 3 layers, S2 is the thickest one and S1, S3 are attached to the primary cell wall. So here the orientation of the cellulose microfibrils is completely different when compared with the primary cell wall. So now coming into the important thing like what are the functions of the cell wall. We already discussed what are the functions, and let us discuss in detail. So cell wall actually it provides a framework for the cell. It design a structure for the cell to prevent overexpansion. The cell have some margins, right? So that cell wall provides a structure, rigid structure for the cell. And the cell wall also helps in, it provides the shape for the cell, and it gives the form, a shape, a certain shape to the cell. And cell wall also provides rigidity, strength to the cell, and it gives mechanical strength to the cell and also supports the cell. And the cell wall controls the direction of the cell growth. So cell, if at all any growth has happened to the cell, if at all in a longitudinal way or transverse way, that will decide by the cell wall. And the cell wall, it helps in withstanding the turgor pressure and forces against the cell wall. So whatever the forces, whatever the unnecessary and extreme forces and extreme pressures, if at all is going to be on the cell, so the cell wall actually protects the cell from the external pressures and desiccations. And the cell wall prevents the swelling of the cell and bursting of the cell due to osmotic pressure. So if at all any pressure is there inside the cell, so the cell wall, the outer cell wall, it protects the cell from the bursting of the cell. And the cell wall also regulates the growth of the cell, and it acts as the physical barrier to the plant and regulates diffusion. And cell wall actually acts as a filter, so it regulates the diffusion. Diffusion means movement of ions or molecules from higher concentration to lower concentration till the concentration becomes equal, right? So that type of diffusion movement is being helped by the cell wall. So cell wall also helps in communication. Communication means it transfers the cell messages, the signals of the cell from one cell to the another cell through plasmodesmata, that are the cytoplasmic connections. And cell wall offers the protection against the plant viruses and also other pathogens. It protects the cell from the plant viruses, outer viruses, bacteria and some other pathogens. And cell wall also helps in preventing the water loss. And cell wall helps in the storage. Sometimes cell wall helps in the storage of the carbohydrates, minerals and ions, which are very useful for the plant growth, especially in the seeds. Seed cell wall helps in the storage of the substances. So these are all the very important functions of the cell wall, and which is very important essay question for you from the first unit. Cell wall, the very important topic. So in this presentation we discussed introduction of the cell wall, who discovered the cell and the properties of the cell wall, and then we discussed how the bacterial cell wall is in gram positive bacteria and gram negative bacteria and the functions of the cell wall, and we have seen how the prokaryotic cell wall is, and then we discussed about the eukaryotic cell wall composition, how it is in different composition in different types of eukaryotic organisms, and then we have seen the structure of the plant cell wall and what is made up of, and then cell wall layers we have seen, cell wall materials we have seen, and in the cell wall layers actually a cell wall consisting of 3 layers, outermost middle lamella, and below the middle lamella primary cell wall, and below the primary cell wall is the secondary cell wall. These are the 3 layers of the cell wall. So in this diagram, actually the blue colored portion is completely the primary cell wall. The outermost layer, this one is the middle lamella, this is the primary cell wall, and here there is no secondary cell wall seen, and immediately below the primary cell wall, plasma membrane, here it is shown. Actually in some plants below the primary cell wall and a secondary cell wall is also there. So this primary cell wall, as you see, these are the it is made up of cellulose and hemicellulose, and each cellulose molecule is made up from the is made up by the fusion of many glucose molecules, and then each cellulose molecule again cellulose molecules forms the chains and forms the cellulose microfibrils like this, and these cellulose microfibrils are arranged either longitudinally or transversely in the primary cell wall, and the gaps of the primary cell walls are being filled up with pectin, lignin, chitin and water like substances. And the middle lamella, which we already know, it's made up of calcium and magnesium peptides. So we all discussed this, how the microfibrils are arranged, and each microfibril consisting of 40 to 70 chains of cellulose molecules, and each cellulose molecule is made up of 8000 to 15000 glucose molecules, and all these details were discussed in this presentation, so which is very very important, students. So learn this listen this video and prepare your notes, which is very very important for your exams. Thank you.